everyone. My name is Alicia Jackson, licensed professional counselor, and welcome to my channel as we are reviewing Ready to Love, uh, Season 5, Episode 12. This is it. Drum roll. This is it. We have made it to the finish line, right? Applause. We've made it. And so we are here. The episode, before we get into it, how could I forget? Of course, subscribe to the channel. You already know we're trying to get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we are steady moving in the right direction. So I'm so excited about that. So now that you've subscribed and of course liked the video, we're going to get into the episode. Starts with Sydney and Phil kind of doing a debriefing check-in from the Shiloh and Phil incident and debacle that happened last season. If you haven't checked out my review about that of last week's episode, just from a therapist's perspective, feel free to do so. And really, Sydney was just trying to get a reassurance and understanding that Phil was not trying to physically harm Shiloh. And I definitely agree and feel like he was definitely not trying to do that. So I'm glad that happened and they ended on the right foot and were able to continue to move along in the process. The episode officially starts with the last brunch of everybody coming together. Nephew Tommy, announces to the ladies that, hey, it's your turn. You get to meet the fellas family. And as they didn't meet the families, we get to see not much. Can I be honest with you? Didn't get to see very much per se. These family meetings were pretty soft. As it seems that most people have kind of made up their mind or their decision about who they're going to be with, right? The only person that is on the fence is Frank, and that's kind of where it starts, but his family gave us nothing. They said Frank was perfect, and I guess that's maybe why he feels that way. I don't believe that he feels that way, actually. I think sometimes he can present very put together. He doesn't present in a way that shows his flaws as human, like that is transparent. He presents himself as pretty buttoned up, and that's how his family actually described him. Frank is perfect, and I'm like, okay, I guess. But they did say that they felt that Sydney had the better personality, but felt that Momin had the family qualities and the values to build a family with. So we'll see. We see, what happens there. Next, Sabrina meets Walter's family, his aunt and his sister, and it's interesting. First, Walter didn't know where Sabrina was from. I'm like, she's from Korea, a whole different country, and he said she was from Virginia. But it was great to see Sabrina's kind of strategic question about how Walter is in a relationship, so she can get some information for herself to know what to do, as she's been very persistent and consistent with her concern about Walter's kind of hot and cold, iffy, inconsistent pursuit of her, as they hit it off right at the beginning. And now what? What's happening? So that was something. They said that he's very affectionate, and she's like, I haven't seen that, Walter. So that gave her more information to know what to do for herself, which we will see we did see later in the episode. So Aisha meets Dante's brother and cousin. That goes, relatively well. Dante's brother had some concerns about things not being 50-50 financials wise, because Aisha want Dante to pay the bills and cover and be a provider for her, cover her that way financially. And she says she's willing to support and help, and that she has done that. I think what's happening is because after the divorce, she's been carrying her family, and she's like, hey, I don't want to do that anymore. And she has the right to do that. And so he, he backed down respectfully and had his say, but he did have a little side eye of just saying that's not going to be for me, and he can make that decision as long as Dante's okay with it. Then that's all that matters. Family meeting, Sydney. This was kind of like a blah. It was kind of boring. We know Phil is very interested in Sydney and vice versa, that they're both kind of leaning towards that way. Like, we're seeing the signs, this is where this is headed. As the couples make their decision, we have Frank choosing Mumin and Mumin choosing Frank. We have Sydney choosing Phil and Phil choosing Sydney. We have Dante choosing Aisha and Aisha choosing Dante. And then we have Walter choosing Sabrina and Sabrina respectfully choosing herself, as she is just saying that she's not willing to settle for the inconsistent pursuit. And Walter was taken back by it, but I'm definitely proud of her because I know that Sabrina really likes Walter and was really, as she said at the dinner, like really instantly they connected, and she felt this connection and was genuine. And he's standing there, and so he's choosing her, and he's got the flowers. It's like the happy ending. But she's like, it still just doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, and if I don't see the proof in the pudding, if your actions are lining up with what you say, then I gotta go. And so shout out to her for doing that for sure. So we shall see how things go with the reunion. Ready to love these relationships seem to be oftentimes shorter than we would like, or than I would like, I would say. The show, I think, just needs to maybe do some revamping, or some different criteria needs to be set to see if people are really, really ready to love. And I know this is it's a reality TV show. It's a reality dating show. People are going to play games. They're not going to be themselves. There's cameras, all of this stuff. So it's a lot of layers. And this is just, again, for us to learn a little bit about relationships. And so we will keep moving forward. And I'll see you guys next week after the reunion. You take care, subscribe to the channel, and be blessed.